Hello and welcome back for another episode of Financial Freedom by 40. In this week's episode, we are travelling along the southern coast of Western Australia. We're visiting some beautiful beaches in this week's episode, including beaches that have been named consistently in the lists of the top 50 beaches in the world. The one you can see in the video now is Lucky Bay, and we were really lucky to be able to book 5 nights here at this beautiful beach. Lucky Bay is one of Australia's most popular campgrounds, and you can see it in the background just now as the drone pans across. Campsites at Lucky Bay can book out 6 months in advance, so this is a site that we actually booked before we even left New Zealand. This whole southern coast of Western Australia is a really popular destination to visit, and places along here can be super busy, so you have to get your campgrounds booked in as soon as possible. We were lucky to snag some last minute spots at some of the campgrounds we got to, but if you want to get bookings at places like Lucky Bay, you often have to book months in advance. When we left you in last week's episode, we were coming back towards the coast from our time inland visiting Kalgoorlie and Haydn. We came out to the coast at Albany, which is our first stop in this week's episode. One of the places we stopped to visit at Albany was the Anzac Centre. The Anzac Centre is located in Albany and overlooks the bay where a lot of the Anzac soldiers actually collected together and joined ships to head out into the World Wars. Within the Anzac Centre building itself, you can learn a lot about the history of the Anzacs and follow the journeys of some of the individual soldiers who travelled out from this area in the World Wars. The wider grounds have a lot of other interesting things that you can explore too, including some old army tunnels and some old historic buildings from back when this area was used as a fort. On top of all of that, there are a bunch of old army guns which kept the boys occupied for a good bit of time before we went into the museum. But before we show you the Anzac Centre, let's just take a few more seconds to admire the beautiful Lucky Bay.
Yeah, well, there's the torpedoes.
Yeah.
I reckon it might be. I think you might be right.
Torpedo launchers, Xavier. For the subs. Or ships. Launch torpedo. Oh, that's fine. Lubrication.
Alright.
Sheesh, she's a bit toy.
Oh, there's a big, like, rocket thing over there. Oh, there's some serious guns. Those ones over there have got signs on them.
Those guns, that big gun.
These ones look like ones that would have been on a ship, maybe.
More height, please. One more height. Up, 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 up. Pump it. Soldier, pump it, pump it, pump it. Come on, we got a water wind. Oh, you hit your head, you alright? Oh, this is the armory.
Ooh. Oh, there you go, Zaves. That's how those big guns work. Oh, and they're those things like they had at Fort Scratchley, what are they?
Shell.
Yeah.
And this is how it works. They load the thing in.
And it shoots out there. Oh, it's
now
twisted.
Now those bits are for, so that only the shower goes. The tube is too small for this bit here.
But look how the tube inside the tube, it's like a spiral.
It's spiral so it goes fast.
Does it? Well, there you go. It probably explains
So it gets
this
the
thing.
accuracy, right? It's the same as when you throw a rugby ball. If you throw a rugby ball and it's got a spin, it's a lot more accurate.
Wow. Cool.
While we were in Albany, we took a trip out to the Torndirrup National Park, where we went to visit the Natural Bridge and the Gap. The Natural Bridge is a rock formation that goes over the ocean and is pretty spectacular, especially when you see the waves crashing in around it. The Gap is a big gap between a couple of rock cliffs, and again, it's pretty spectacular when you see the big waves crashing through it. This is a place where you can really get to see the power of the Southern Ocean. And this is the platform that you're standing on when you're looking down over those big crashing waves. It's a little bit scary, especially since you can feel the platform moving under your feet. After visiting Albany, we started to make our way back east towards Esperance and Lucky Bay. Along the way, we stopped at a number of beaches, including Manglinut Beach. Manglinut Beach is a neat little beach campground just behind the dunes, and it has this neat little lagoon which is kind of protected from the ocean, and we were able to go out there for a bit of a snorkel. We also got to try the camel sausages that we had with us since we had been in Robe and visited the Humpalicious Camel Farm. Here's the boys giving them a go.
They're okay. I wouldn't buy them from a supermarket, but they're okay. They're good.
Dad, what do you reckon?
I think they're actually really tasty.
They're
Very
really
tasty.
good. They're real good.
They're probably better than a lot of the sausages that we've had in the supermarkets, to be honest. I think they're actually very flavoursome.
They are quite nice.
Well done, Humpalicious.
After a night at Manglinut, it was off to Starvation Bay. Again, this is another coastal beach camp that is just behind the dunes. And the day we arrived here, it was unbelievably hot. This is the hottest weather that any of us have probably ever experienced. And the air that was blowing on us was just roasting. It felt like someone was blowing a hairdryer in your face. So we pretty quickly got the caravan parked up and made our way down to the beach. As you can see here, the beach itself was just a short stroll from where we parked up the caravan, and thank goodness, because we probably spent the entire afternoon right up to dinner time in the water just to keep ourselves cool. After the incredibly hot day, the big thunderclouds started to roll in, and we were treated to a show of thunder and lightning that night. It was pretty cool sitting up with the boys and watching. Nobody was going to get any sleep anyway, so we all sat and stared out the window. Ryan went out into the storm for us and took some videos so that we could share what it was like with all of you. Thankfully, the storm was short-lived, and by the time we woke up the next morning, the weather was beautiful and clear again, and we were ready to make our way towards our next destination. But before we did, it was time to update our map. So here's Ryan showing you where we got to by this point in our journey.
Where are we now? We come around this way, sure.
Yeah, so we did the Nullarbor, we went up to Kalgoorlie, Coolgardie, and then we came across to Southern Cross, just about. It doesn't actually show it perfectly, but then we came down the Emu fence line, didn't we?
Maybe it's
Through
that
to
grey
Hyden.
one. Yeah.
To Hyden. Then we did Hyden via Lake Grace. Oh yeah, through here I think.
Yeah, I don't think the actual road we went on is, it doesn't mark all the roads. But
I think we went through to Lake Grace, and then we did Lake Grace down to Albany, I think. Cranbrook.
maybe we kind of just went through the middle there somewhere, I don't know.
Well, it's tried to around.
Well, we went through,
Oh, there's
hang on,
Lake Grace is there. Lake Grace is there though, I
Where's
think.
the Stirling National Park? Because we went straight
That's
through the middle of
down
that.
here.
So we went straight through the middle of that. So we must have come down that road. Maybe up that yellow one. Down the yellow one.
And then we've gone from, we didn't know, that's fine. And then we went from there to Bremer Bay. And then we went Bremer Bay to, we actually came
Back
back up
around,
this
yeah.
way. I Then we came to where's...
Well, I don't think it's on there. It's just the other side of the Fitzgerald National Park. That's where we went down to Hope.
Yeah, over here,
Just
right?
there, yeah.
And then we've driven along here
Yep.
so far. And that's where we're at.
Good job.
Look at the colour.
Holy. When Instagram lives up to your expectations.
Oh, there's a kangaroo just jumped across the road.
Oh, and another one. Watch out, there's a whole family of them. Let's not squash any kangaroos on our arrival. Apparently the kangaroos like hop on the beach and stuff here.
It's jumped off.
Oh, is this
This is the
the
campground.
campground? Holy.
Alright, we're going to try and find a spot.
Lucky Bay is another one of those places that you see on Instagram and you wonder if the colours can actually be real. As you can see from this footage, with absolutely no filters whatsoever, the beautiful blue water is actually the colour that you see on Instagram. Unfortunately for us though, it was super windy most of the time we were here, so it wasn't the perfect flat calm beach that you normally do see on Instagram, but we still had an amazing time here exploring both Lucky Beach and the surrounding beaches in the Cape Le Grand National Park. As you'll see shortly, the beaches in this area are all absolutely stunning, and it's pretty hard to choose a favourite. But Lucky Bay was voted the best beach in the world in 2023, and it's not hard to see why. Once you're in the water here, the visibility is amazing, and the water looks just about as clear as it would be if you were swimming in a swimming pool. After a few busy weeks of pretty intense travelling, we all really enjoyed having a few days at the beach, just to relax and take in the sunshine, and of course to catch a few waves.
Dave!
One of the must-dos when you visit the Cape Le Grand National Park is to take a hike up Frenchman's Peak. Frenchman's Peak was named like this because of the shape, and one of the early explorers spotted it and thought that it looked like a French person's hat. Although the walk up Frenchman's Peak is not a super long walk, it can be quite challenging and you do have to climb over the rock surface. This isn't an area that I would want to climb in if it had been raining, and it is classified as a grade 5 hike, although it wasn't a walk that was too difficult to do even with kids in tow. So definitely don't let the grade 5 classification put you off doing this. It was super cool to walk up and also to explore the massive cave that is not too far from the summit.
So this is Frenchman's Peak. So it's not far from where we're staying at Lucky Bay. So we've come here to do the walk to the summit. So should be a pretty amazing view from the top there. There's some caves up there which hopefully we can explore. But today is a very grumpy day for us. Both kids woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. So everybody's off on this trek, feeling really enthusiastic and having a great time after the nice fights we've been having this morning. So let's see how this goes. Wish us luck. Here we are, about to push towards the summit. Look at this, it's a little bit steep. Here we go. So here's the next two markers. It's quite steep. I wonder if there's any rock art in this cave.
Yeah.
It doesn't really look like it, does it? Well, that's true. Need a cherry picker thing.
Even from that, you wouldn't reach the roof. And that,
Yeah, but there's some places you could reach.
yeah, some places like over there and over on these walls, but you wouldn't be able to reach up all over the roof.
The cave near the summit was a good place to have a bit of a stop and a bit of a breather before making the final push towards the summit. It was also a kind of cool spot to just explore and to check out the view from where we had got to by this point. You can see from here just how steep it is down the sides of the mountain, and you can also get a bit of a glimpse out to the ocean and some of the beautiful beaches just out there in the distance. This was also a great little spot for us to sit and set off the drone so that we could have another look at Frenchman's Peak from the sky.
Okay, we're getting up now. Pretty high. Still at the top though. Just a little bit more to go.
Mom,
I'm coming.
you're a wuss.
I'm coming.
And here we are taking a look out from the summit. It is definitely not a spot for the faint-hearted, and I didn't go too far from where we stopped at the very top. But by this point in the day, it was starting to get pretty hot, so we decided to make our way down the slopes of the mountain and go and check out another one of Cape Legrand's famous beaches, which is Thistle Cove. As you can see here, again, the water here is absolutely beautiful. And on this particular day, Thistle Cove was nice and sheltered. So it gave us an opportunity to get out of the wind that had been blowing in at some of the other beaches while we were visiting this area.
I just can't get over the colour. Like, the water is amazing.
Yeah, they're right here.
I can't see them
The
though.
whole school, right here. You're not going to herd fish.
I'm trying to bring them all in towards Mum.
It's just like a swimming pool.
As you can see from this underwater shot that the boys took with the GoPro, the water is so clear that it looks a bit like you're swimming in an aquarium. But if you thought that the sand couldn't get any wider and the water any clearer, it was then time to visit Wharton Beach. Wharton is another one of those beaches in Australia that regularly makes it onto the lists of the top beaches in the world. And again, it is pretty easy to see why. Wharton is about 1 hour's drive from Lucky Bay, and it's one of the many beaches in this part of the world that you are able to take your car onto. As you can see on the right hand side, there are quite a few cars parked up on the beach, and like a number of the beaches in this area, the sand seems to be pretty hard packed, although we didn't take our car on there, preferring to just walk in from the car park. Although we've gotten used to seeing pictures of Wharton Beach looking beautifully flat and calm, the day we were there the wind was coming in a bit and it was a little bit more like a surf beach. It didn't put us off though, because we had a great time here playing in those beautiful clear waves, and the boys caught so many waves on their boogie boards that we were all exhausted by the end of the day.
Nearly got me. You guys trying to get me?
Before leaving Lucky Bay and Cape Legrand behind, the boys wanted to go down to the beach for a final swim and a snorkel around the rocks at the one end of the beach.
Ready? Whoop. Go, Ollie. Your turn, come on.
Come on, Ollie.
Oh, come on, old man.
Come on, old chick. Oh, man. You're almost 12 years old, bro. That is that age, you know.
Come on, so you can jump back up.
It's been pretty cool watching how much confidence the boys have built up both with their swimming and their snorkeling in the time since we arrived in Australia.
See any fish?
Yeah.
Leather jackets.
Still the fish.
Leather jackets and the little tiny silver one.
Can we swim around that rock?
Which rock?
That one.
Yeah,
Yellow and that.
yeah.
Unfortunately though, after 5 amazing days in Lucky Bay and the wider area, we had to say goodbye and start heading back towards the west again. On our way west, we stopped in at Esperance and visited the beautiful Twilight Beach. Again, it was really windy on the day that we visited Twilight Beach, so it wasn't its usual best, but the boys still had fun enjoying the surf and they swam out to the rock in the middle of the bay. They were super brave jumping off, and Xavier even jumped off from the top of the rock, which I was finding pretty scary to watch.
Ready, go. Jump, jump, jump. Woo! Jump, Ollie.
That's where we're going to leave you for this week. And in next week's episode, we are going to be heading around the southwest corner of Western Australia. We're going to visit these beautiful elephant rocks just outside of Denmark and some of the other amazing sites that this area has to offer, including the Margaret River region, which we've heard so much about. Thank you so much to everybody for tuning in again this week, and we would like to say a really big thank you to all of our regular viewers. If you would like to tune in to our episodes each Friday, make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you are notified as soon as the latest episode goes live. If you'd like to see all of our updates each day on Instagram, make sure you follow along at Financial Freedom by 40.